It's not too aggressive, it's not too subtle either. It's solid. Whoa, a little bit wheel spin on the front. Is it sporty? No, because I wasn't expecting it to be so fast. Hey guys, this is Joe, welcome to the channel. This is the all-new BYD Sealion 6. In New Zealand, there are two trims available. The majority of the differences are on the drivetrain part. The first spec is called Dynamic, that offers a single motor electric motor at the front and two-wheel drive, of course, where the second spec, in this particular spec, this is the premium. This offers dual motor all-wheel drive. It's a plug-in hybrid. That's why it's called DMI. So it's called Dual Mode Intelligence. So in terms of the look, they look identical from the exterior. There's no difference at all. So 19-inch alloys are available on both specs. They look chunky. Yeah, looks okay. Two-tone finish, no problem at all. On the side, some plastic padding underneath. B-pillar and A-pillar, they are all silver trims across the window. Silver roof rails is available, and the panoramic sunroof is also available on all the specs. At the front, full LED daytime running lights plus full LED headlights are also available. They look great, not bad at all. There's no fog lights at the front, but the LED are good enough for majority of the people. At the front, new BYD logo, and this is the treatment. It's not like a traditional petrol car because you get big chunky grille. This grille is actually quite minimum, and you can see the seal design overall. You can see the seal lines, as this is used to be called Seal U in overseas market, but they've renamed this to a C line instead. And if we walk to the back, the lines on the side are quite chunky. They are like a proper medium-sized SUV, so the overall length is just over 4.7 meters long, with a wheelbase at 2.76 meters. The width is just under 1.9 meters. So like a proper mid-sized SUV, this is what you expect. And then this is what it looks like on the tail lights. Sequential turning lights are available on the tail lights, and you get the full running through LED tail lights. And you got those small drops over here that fill up the tail lights. They look cool, they look amazing at night, and I love that. That's not bad at all. In terms of design, BYD logo on the top. Finally, there's no build your dreams. DMI, all-wheel drive, means this is a plug-in hybrid all-wheel drive system. On the right, Sealion. This logo is actually quite different from this logo. You can see the emblem sticks out, where this logo it's like a printed, it's very minimum. I would say that's because they changed the design or changed the name on the last phase of the production, maybe, but it's fine from distance. So in terms of exterior design, I think it looks okay. It's not too aggressive, it's not too subtle either. The design language definitely has a lot more BYD vibes into it. If you don't like BYD, I guess you won't like this sort of design, but if you're familiar with the BYD, you'll be okay with this particular design. It definitely sticks out on the road. It looks absolutely different from, like, say, a traditional SUV, your Toyota RAV4 or Honda CR-V, Nissan X-Trail or anything like that, but it's a really good size, medium-sized SUV. Anyway, let's go to the boot, see how it's like. Power tailgate is available on all the BYD Sealion. That means we're getting 427 liters boot space, square, it's long, it's wide, it's no problem at all. It's a little bit shorter than some of the traditional medium-sized SUVs, like the Kia Sportage or Toyota RAV4, but it's not that small compared to all of them. If you drop the rear seats, that creates a nice flat floor. That means more than 1,455 liters boot space combined, and that's huge actually, because the wheelbase of the vehicle is quite long, so that helps with the space, of course. Underneath the storage, we are getting some additional storage over here, plus your tire mobility kit. As per normal, most of the hybrid cars do not have any space saver. In terms of charging port, we are getting two charging leads. One is your home 3-pin charger, one is a very long vehicle to load function cable. Talking about charging, let's look at the charging ports on this vehicle. It's located on the driver's side, on the right-hand drive. When we open it, we'll find Type 2 charger and the CCS DC fast charging. On the Type 2, it's pretty much overnight charging if you go through the household socket, where on the DC charge, it can be as fast as about 1 to 2 hours to fully charge. It's very handy, but most people are going to use the Type 2 as standard. And in case you do go out camping, you can actually use this as the vehicle to load function. It's really cool to offer this. This might as well be one of the first plug-in hybrids that's available in New Zealand to offer the vehicle to load function. If you know any other vehicles that's available on the market that offers a vehicle to load, let me know in the comments. Your petrol tank is on the passenger side. You'll notice here it has to be minimum 95. Under the bonnet, that's your DMI engine. This is a 1.5 litre turbocharged petrol 4-cylinder motor at the front, plus an electric motor at the front mounted as well. Along with that, there's a rear motor available. We're going to go through the specs when we start driving the vehicle. Now, let's go to the second row to see how it's like. First thing, look how the base is. It's so thick, it's so long, it's going to be really comfortable for the passengers at the back. And color-wise, you got orange or red color stitchings on the side, brown leather in the center, and sort of black or dark bluish color on the side. You can choose the optional white and gray interior for the premium spec only. Anyway, let's step inside to see how it goes. Look at the space. This is my sitting position at about 178 centimeters tall. I've got loads of legroom and loads of foot space. Headroom is really good as well. My head is nowhere touching the roof. What I really like about the rear seats is how soft all the leather and touches is. When you open the armrest, that's 2 cup holders, and everything around this is soft and squeegee. In terms of storage, pockets over here, air vents over here, USB-A and USB-C charging, plus some additional storage underneath. In terms of door material, everything is soft touch again. It's sort of plasticky on the top, but it's a soft leather finish over here around the doors. Closing the door, it's solid. Let's try again. It's really solid. You get some piano black trim over here, some chrome trim over here, and underneath, of course, that's plastic, just like all the other cars. So in terms of fit and finish, this car is definitely over any other Japanese or Korean competitors for the rear seats and for the build quality around the material, around the doors, everything. Let's try the center seats to see how it's like. This is not a fully electric vehicle, but there's no center tunnel going through, so that means everything is really flat, but your seat base is going to be a little bit high, and seat back is going to be a little bit firm on the center back, so it's not going to be the most comfortable seats compared to the outer seats. Personally, I think these outer seats are really good. And in case you haven't noticed, look how wide this opening is on the rear doors. That means putting a baby seat or anything like that will be really easy. And that's a plus. Now we're finally back onto the driver's seats. Look how nicely down the seats are. Quite a lot of contrast, quite a lot of stitchings. The seats itself are very similar to the BYD Atto 3, if you're familiar with the BYD products. A little bit wider, a little bit chunkier, I have to say. Electric adjustments are also available. Heated and cooling function are also available throughout the train, basically. Let's step inside. This is definitely a nice place to be. First thing, leather wrapped steering. They are very nice, a little bit thicker than the BYD Atto 3, but the shape is a little bit different as well, I believe. All those function keys are identical, but the material they use is a little bit different. Indicator behind the steering, windscreen wiper behind the steering. That's pretty simple. On the right, you get your fuel tank opener and your headlight leveling over adjustment. In front of us, that's a 12.3-inch display. You can control quite a few things actually. You can go left and right to see different information. You can even change the days to a classic driving mode or change days to a fashion. Just like that. Looks amazing. On the windscreen, we got a big head-up display that's only available on this top spec trim. The head-up display is so huge and so bright and so nice, to be fair. In terms of visual point of view, that digital speedo is chunky enough for everyone to see, but that feels like it's 1.5 times bigger than the digital speedo on your dashboard. And it's really nice to look at it when you drive the vehicle. Of course, you can switch it off. Of course, you can adjust it, brightness, all the things, whenever you like. And if we go into the center, this is a big tablet screen, and that tilt. So you can do this way, or you can do this way by tapping this button or adjust whatever in the center screen. The size of this is 15.6 inch to be exact. It's huge. It's bigger than your BYD Atto 3 in comparison. Swiping left and right, you can find all the apps that's available, going to the vehicle settings, and you can find the vehicle configuration and settings, everything. There's tons of information that's available. To give you some examples, you can set your SOH, which is state of charge, to 25% or any percent. It will give you either auto or save modes. That means you can utilize the battery a little bit more, a little bit less, whenever you like. And if you go into the vehicle, there are tons of settings. You can even do the intelligent memory that will memorize your sport mode settings. You can memorize your save mode and things like that. You can do the control locking. So many information are available on this particular screen, and there's tons of settings you can set up when you get inside the vehicle. They're all reasonably intuitive, and along with that you get wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, so you do not need to connect to anything through your cable to be able to use these features. Along with that, inbuilt navigation is also there, so that's really good. Underneath the screen, you can also find your heated seats, heated cooling, air conditioning adjustments, everything. They are pretty easy to use, very intuitive. There's no direct buttons for the majority of the aircon controls, but you do have the high BYD. Change aircon to 23 degrees.
Got it.
Just like
Setting
that.
the temperature to 23 degrees.
That's awesome. And you can, of course, open sunroof, open windows, call someone directly with this built-in voice command, even allowing you to go into the navigation settings as well. So that's pretty good. And if you look at the camera, they are very nice and clear. You get the camera's 3D functions. It's a silver vehicle on the road, but it's fun. It's easy to use, so everything is there. In terms of center console, you get 2 wireless phone chargings over here. They are all 15 watts, not the fastest, but it's very enough for most people. If we keep moving, we can see this piano black panel. Very simple, but it works. Everything is very intuitive. You get the climate control on the right for your quick on and off, auto and front defrost. Gear shifter in the center, plus the parking. They are very minimal and very nice to touch. On the left, hazard light, blind spot detection, and also your auto hold function. Underneath, volume and music control, EV and HEV adjustments. Along with that, mode and your drive mode selection, plus the push button start. Very simple, but it works. I love this particular design. If you keep moving, 2 cup holders are available, and you got a very deep storage box. Plus, this is your emergency kit to cut your seatbelt or break the glass if you need to utilize that. I guess most people won't take this car to off-road, but in case, you will have that. And on the armrest, you notice the NFC card reader. So this vehicle comes with 2 standard keys with the additional NFC cards. So you can actually use the NFC card to start the vehicle going in and out of the vehicle. So that's quite handy. Along with that, you also get mobile app connection on this particular system. And OTA update is also available on all the BYD cars. And now if we move to the side, pretty standard glove box and some storage on the door bin. In terms of finishes, they're all very nicely done. So some softer touch on the top, and you get the material like leather material on the top, piano black, chrome finish, some red stitchings again, and leather finish on everywhere you touch. By your knees, by your hand, by your arm, everything is well built on this vehicle. I forgot to mention, under there, you also got the deep storage, plus your USB chargings, things like that. Or if you want to use the connection, you can use those connections. So yeah, it's definitely a well thought design for the interior cabin. Is it a top-notch product? I think for the medium-size, mid-range or budget range, this is really well good in terms of build quality. But what do you think? Let me know in the comment down below. Alright, we're finally ready to go for a drive. Before we go, let's look at the visibility on this vehicle. First thing on the right, good size wind mirror. I love the wind mirror sticks out, so you get a small gap over here to see through your giveaways or stop signs, things like that. On the left, reasonable. At the back, small quarter window does help a little bit, but mostly things, the rear window is good size. Only thing is the rear windscreen isn't the largest, to be fair. It's quite slim basically, so the tailgate is quite high up. It's not really a big sloping roofline, but the screen is on the small or medium to small size. So it's not as good as something you can find of a Nissan X-Trail or Honda CR-V, something like that. But for most people, you'll be okay. These cars still got all the safety technologies and gears, in case you do wonder that. You also notice once we start driving, there's no electric handbrake on this vehicle. And here's the turning. pretty good. I think turning circle is not bad. For the size of this car, it's reasonable. Speaking of the no electric handbrake, I found it. It's only under the media screen, so you do need to do a swipe down over here, which is a little bit hard, touchy when you drive the vehicle. It's all under here, EPB. So there's no physical controls to control your electronic parking brake, which is actually quite funny. But because this car has all the electronic gear selector and electronics available on this car, going through drive or parking or reverse, your handbrake gets released automatically. Going back to park, handbrake gets on. Pretty easy. You don't need to worry about it, to be fair. That's all the new technology, new fancy things that's available on this vehicle. Alright, now we're on the road. Let's see if I can memorize all those numbers on the drivetrain. It's powered by a 4-cylinder 1.5-litre turbocharged petrol motor at the front. Along with that, another EV motor at the front, another EV motor at the back. So this vehicle is the all-wheel drive version. The 1.5-litre turbocharged petrol motor offers 96 kilowatts of power, 220 Newton-meters torque, I'm really sorry, where the front motor offers 150 kilowatts of power and 300 kilowatts of torque Newton-meters at the front, and the rear motor is 125 kilowatts, and I forgot the Newton-meters for whatever reasons. Combined power through all these three motors, you are getting a whopping 220 kilowatts of power and 550 Newton-meters of torque. And that's massive for any competitors on the market. Under 70k, like plug-in hybrids or petrol or even electric cars, it's really hard to beat that numbers for a medium-sized SUV. And it's fast. 0-100k is rated to be 5.8 seconds. I don't think we're able to test that today, but heaps of people have tested it online, and you can easily achieve at least 6 seconds on this particular drivetrain. In terms of transmission, this vehicle comes with a eCVT transmission. It's one of the best eCVT, so that means whenever you put your foot down, there's always going to be instant torque, since this is a plug-in hybrid. In terms of EV range, the vehicle offers up to 85 kilometers on the charge between 25% to 100%. The technology of the BYD DMI system, they will kind of limit your EV driving up to its 25% of state of charge. So you won't be able to run it completely out. That, of course, help with the efficiency and all that things on the battery drivetrain. So although in theory, it could break 100 kilometers on the full EV driving range and let's say 0% to 100%, this potentially will be one of the first plug-in hybrids that's available to be able to break 100 kilometers on the WLTP range in New Zealand. But because the BYD system, they can only advertise it to be about 80 something for this all-wheel drive drivetrain, where if you want a little bit more EV driving range, you can go to the two-wheel drive version that will get the EV driving range up to 96 also, from 20% to 100% again. So in terms of fuel consumption, in the best scenario, you should be able to achieve 0 litre per 100 k's, because the EV range can last more than 80 k's on full charge, and it's more than most people's like commuting drive for the daily. But in terms of the plug-in hybrid scenario, let's say you do not plug at all and the vehicle sits at 25% SOC, state of charge, you can achieve somewhere around 5 to 6 liters per 100 k's, depends on how you drive. I've seen many tests in China about the same drivetrain with a two-wheel drive system. You can average about 4.5 to 5 liter on a good day. But let's say in New Zealand, in most people's cases, you are going to be maybe around 5 to 6 liters per 100 k's if you do not charge the vehicle at all. And let's say in that scenario, you probably want to take this to Palmerston North or Wellington in a long drive from Auckland, you may be able to get those figures. And even those figures are still healthy figures, because like a Toyota RAV4 hybrid, probably potentially looking at those numbers as well, 5 to 6 liters. But this car has a lot more power, let's put it that way. And we are able to test over here. So let's go get it into sport mode and let's slow it down. 1, 2, 3. It's not bad at all. The first pickup is quite slow, not slow, it's more gentle, and as the BYD fashion, all these BYD cars have very gentle acceleration. Even if you change to sport mode, even if you go to sport handling, things like that. So we're going to test that again, so do not worry about that acceleration for now. In terms of drive mode, we get very different drive modes available. So on the Drivetrain's drive mode, you can go to hybrid or EV. HEV means hybrid, EV means pure electric. As long as you get charging it, you can just switch this forward. Right now it's driving on pure EV. There's absolutely no sound from the engine at all. The engine does not kick in, does not power the car, does not even use it as a generator, things like that. But if you want, whenever you like, or if the battery is too low, it will drop to HEV. That means when the petrol motor is needed, it will kick in. But right now, as we see on the dashboard, it's not going to kick in. Because when it's driving on HEV, because you get so much of the state of charge on the health battery, it's not going to kick in, and you're still really quiet, absolutely no sound at all from the drive motor. But if you want, foot down the brake, ooh, you can see the acceleration. I should not go over that fast at all. There's also some regenerative braking as well. You can change that to standard or high, whichever you like, but none of them are one pedal driving. I don't think I've seen a BYD with one pedal driving yet. Hopefully we'll get that in the future, but it's more than enough for everyone's daily in terms of the brake motion and brake regeneration, let's put that way. And in terms of other drive modes of how you want acceleration to feel or how you want the traction to feel, you can change to eco, normal, sport, or even mud and sand as well. Depends on what scenario you are going to have. This allows you to change to a different variety of information on this small panel, again in the center. So under sport, of course, the pedal will be a little more touchy, give you a better throttle response, where under normal or eco will be balanced, or economy just gets you a little bit better consumption on fuel or on electric motor. And of course, sand and mud allows the vehicle to have a better traction on some of the other rough surfaces. But let's be honest, most people are not going to take this as off-road cars. As we are slowing down, you are going to hear some whining noise from the electric motor because it's recharging, it's working at low speed. But the good thing is you are not going to get those pedestrian whining noise or warning noise or high-pitching noise on this vehicle drivetrain. It was available on the BYD Atto 3, and some people find it annoying, but it's not available on the plug-in hybrids Sealion 6, which is good. Alright, we are now here. Let's do another small cheeky acceleration from 30. 1, 2, 3. Whoa! Whoa! Wow! You can see that pushback. I was thrown back to the seats by that motion because I wasn't expecting it to be so fast in terms of pickup. It is fast. It felt okay in terms of the heavy push. I wouldn't say this is as fast as something like a super sporty Outback 2.4 liter turbocharged, how it feels when it accelerates. But in terms of speed, that goes up really fast. I mean, this car goes from 0 to 100 faster than some of the Outback XT, to be fair. And it is amazing for medium-sized SUV. Most of us won't need this power, let's be honest. Other things in terms of the suspension, it's got MacPherson strut at the front, multi-link at the back, pretty standard for medium-sized SUV these days. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's very comfortable. When you ride along on this country road, I've driven many cars on this country road. This is one of the floatiest, should we see that? It's so soft, it's so relaxing to travel. There's nothing weird goes on with the suspension. You can barely feel any bumps on the road, and like that it rides along. Wow, it is nice, and it is really quiet because build quality on the material doors and so nice to have. In terms of handling, the steering feels quite light. It's actually really light. compared to any other mid-size SUVs, I don't think anyone is this light, to be fair. That makes the vehicle very light to control as well. Around this corner, it's not bad. Because you got the dual motor battery, the vehicle weight is actually quite a bit compared to any other petrol cars. So it stays on the ground quite well. Is it sporty? No, it's not sporty at all. But the turning is strong. Like, you can feel the turning is very confident. So I would rate this chassis or this sort of platform a better platform than the Atto 3. So for someone who has driven the Atto 3, you may find the suspension really nice, supportive, comfort. In another way, maybe premium in some way as well. But this suspension is amazing. I think I can't quite think of anything within the $70,000 mark on a medium-sized SUV offers as close as the comfort on this vehicle. In my personal experience, I always rate the Spiral Outback as one of the easiest and most relaxing touring SUVs on the market to travel, even to drive, to handle, to control. Everything's so soft, so nice. I would say this is on par with the Spiral Outback. But on another way, this is quieter than the Spiral Outback. There's no petrol motor. We put the foot down, instant torque, just like that. There's no slowing down. The brake itself, I should mention, it's quite spongy, because the first travel you are getting to the regenerative braking to kick in, where then after some point the mechanical brakes will kick in. So it's definitely doesn't feel the same compared to other, let's say, SUVs on the market. It offers a slightly different experience, but overall not too bad at all. Alright, let's try another test, starting from the auto hold all the way down. 1, 2, 3. Whoa, a little bit wheel spin on the front, but once you get the control, whoa, there we go. That's fast. I'm really sorry I had to break the speed limit, because from 80 to 100, that was about less than 1 second for some reason. It's fast. This car is fast. Wow. It's not as thrilling as some of the sporty, electric cars on the market for sure, but for a size of this car, for how comfortable this car is, that's fast. I mean, if you don't want this fastness, that's fine. You can get the lower spec, the 2-wheel drive, still fast. That car breaks 100 in about 7 to 8 seconds. It's not slow at all in any means. But this felt on another level in terms of the driving. And driving on this 1D country road, certainly not bad at all. I think this handles better than the BYD Atto 3. A bit more supportive, a bit more sort of agile, and you can feel the chassis is a bit more strong, a bit more refined as well. And again, brakes a little bit spongy on the first travel, but after that it'll be a little bit more aggressive, just like that. But it's fine, and pickup is just effortless when you look at the speed change. It's simply too fast, I think. Overall, I'm definitely surprised by the drive quality in China. If you've seen my previous video before, I've driven this car just on a very small short test drive. I felt, it's nice, it's premium, it's not bad at all, but I did not push to any of this level driving on surface like this. And to be fair, on this particular surface, this is so relaxing. This car ticks all the boxes you want for a medium-sized SUV, whether you're driving for family, company, whatever you want. It's comfortable, it's got all the tags, it's got all the features, and it's fast. For this all-wheel drive drivetrain, it's more than enough for what everyone's needs and everyone's want, things like that. Last one, turning circle. It's not bad at all. And that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you do not forget to subscribe and like. That's the best way to support the channel. As always, I will see you next one. Thank you very much.